What is everybody? Daniel Rock 08 back again on our video. 1998 year in review continues with WCW's World War III, a three-ring mayhem battle royale with 60 of the top superstars in WCW. Of course, you also have guys like Lenny Lane and so many, like Mike Enos and so many Hammenagers and so many guys that scratch your head and like, who in the bluest of blue hell is this jabroni? That is the magic of World War III. Let's start off. Wrath defeats Glacier in a shitty match. It's Wrath, it's Glacier. Did you expect this match to be good? 2 out of 10. Next up, Stevie Ray defeats Conan via disqualification in one of the stupidest finishes I've ever fucking seen. So you have Vincent, or Virgil. He has a slapjack. I don't know what the fuck a slapjack is. He goes hit Conan, but Conan reverses it and hits Stevie Ray with it instead. But Conan, instead of going for the pin, instead he shoves the referee down and gets himself disqualified, which doesn't make sense. It doesn't live for fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. Really stupid finish. 1 out of 10. Next up, the Cat and Sonny Ono defeats Saturn and Kaz Hayashi. This was a shitty match of biblical proportions. What pisses me off so much about this tag match is Perry Saturn's in it. And Saturn is a guy in WCW who was getting so much traction, who had so much momentum after the Ravens flock angle that they didn't do anything with him. Instead, he's teaming up with Kaz Hayashi and a shitty tag team match with the Cat and Sonny Ono. And Sonny Ono got the pin on fucking Saturn. 0. Next up, Billy Kidman defeats Juventud Guerrera to win back his Cruiserweight Championship in a fantastic match. It's unfortunate because this probably was Billy Kidman probably was the last really good Cruiserweight champion, because when we get into 1999, there are so many stupid and forgettable Cruiserweight matches, I don't even fucking remember too much. I remember the Spring Stampede 1999 Cruiserweight title match was really damn good, but after that, soon enough, once when Vince Russo comes in at the end of the 1999, the Cruiserweight Championship goes straight to hell, and we get Oklahoma. So it ain't long after this where the Cruiserweight Championship gets straight into the shithouse. But this was still a fun match, a 7.5 on 10. Very good. Next up, Rick and Scott Steiner, they fight to a no contest. Before this match could ever get started, these two guys almost never did have a match together, except their little match that they had at Halloween Havoc. This match didn't even take place. What happened was Rick Steiner got attacked by the NWO. He came out, and then they battled. They battled for about 3 minutes. And then all of a sudden, out comes Goldberg, who doesn't have a match, but he's there. I don't know why he doesn't have a match, but he's there. And him and Rick Steiner takes down and beat the crap out of Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell, who should have been a babyface, but isn't. Fine stuff. Can't really rate it, but this is okay. Very good. The next match also doesn't take place. 2 matches back-to-back that both does not take place. This time it's Scott Hall taking on Kevin Nash. NWO guys are out there. You have fucking Virgil. You have Stevie Ray. You have all these other guys. And Eric Bischoff wants a survey. And he says, give me a survey. Survey says, get him. And they turn their backs on Scott Hall. They beat up on Scott Hall, and Scott Hall gets kicked out of the NWO Hollywood team. I guess they were sick and tired of him being drunk all the time. Out comes Kevin Nash to clean house. Scott Hall goes for a 2 sweet, and we think that the outsiders are back. The crowd is chanting, outsiders, outsiders. Kevin Nash does not give Scott Hall a 2 sweet, much like how Larson never gives Steve a 2 sweet. So he no-sweeted him. He no-sweeted Scott Hall because he knows that if he 2 sweets him, that Scott Hall and them are friends again. And Kevin Nash cannot be friends with Scott Hall because if he becomes friends with Scott Hall, that would mean that Scott Hall would think to himself, hey, yo, it's okay for me being a drunk again, even though he is gaining so much momentum and being not so much of a drunk. Okay stuff here. I really like how Kevin Nash did not no-sweet him. No-sweeted him. Very good stuff. Next up, we finally do get a match, and it's Chris Jericho defeating Buddy Duncum Jr. to retain his television championship. No disrespect to Bobby Duncum Jr., rest in peace, buddy. But, again, as I stated with Saturn and Raven, who's not even on this show, not even in World War III, by the way, and along with Jericho, these guys, they're just going with the even flow. So good. I had to say it in 2 different videos. And they're not doing anything. So this is Chris Jericho. This is after his conspiracy victim and his one-man feud with Goldberg. And so he's doing all these great things. And he's facing Bobby Duncum Jr. at World War III. Whatever. Next up, we have World War III Battle Royale, the 60-man, 3-ring World War III Battle Royale. And the winner of this match gets a title shot against Goldberg or whoever the WCW World Heavyweight Champion will be. This time, they get their title shot at Starrcade. The rules of World War III, the winner, it always changes. In 95, it was you become the WCW Champion. In 96, you get a title shot. Although the Giants, they wanted him to forfeit his title shot, but never happened. Scott Hall eventually did get his title shot at Uncensored. He had to wait a long time for it. This time, the winner gets it right at Starrcade. And there are nobody forfeits it. There's no waiting. It's Starrcade. Or it's Starrcade, and that's the only shot you get. Now, there's a lot of things going on. People think that Kevin Nash was the booker of this show, and he is the head booker from here on out until Bischoff leaves or whenever the fuck he was relieved of his duties of head booker. But I believe in Kevin Nash that he wasn't the booker of this show or Starrcade. So, he did not book himself to be the World War III champion. So, we have 3 rings with 20 guys, and you have all the ham and eggers, all the jobbers, all the jabronis, all the no-name guys that you completely forget about, like Bobby Duncum Jr., like a Kendall Windham, like a Mike Enos, like a Lanny Lane, and all these fucking people. And, of course, you got big stars, but one big star that's not in this World War III Battle Royale that is notably not there for some particular reason, is Hollywood Hogan. Hollywood Hogan is not in the Battle Royale. Why? Well, after the whole horrible feud he had with the Warrior, he decided to take his ball and go home. He then teased on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno that he is running for the presidency of the United States of America. Now, Jay Leno then said, which party are you going to be involved with? Republican or Democrat? And Hulk Hogan said, right now, I'm right down the middle. So again, the $1 million question that everyone has to ask is, whose side is he on? whose side of the Republican or the Democratic, whose side is he on in the political race of 2000? Of course, this was just a publicity stunt, and Hollywood Hogan will be back. The Nitro, the Finger Poke of Doom Nitro, basically. Kevin Nash dominates Ring 3, the ring he's in. He dominates. He throws people left and right. He basically throws almost everyone in the ring out. And he basically just stands there flipping his hair about 10,000 times throughout the rest until we get to the final 10. The final 10 are, I can't really name off 10 of them. I'm going to try. Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit surprisingly got there. Lex Luger, the Giant, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall got in there. What is that, 6 names? And a few other guys. Conan, a couple other guys. So you had NWO guys, you had Wolfpack guys, you had Horseman guys, a lot of guys. Bam Bam Bigelow was also interfering in this World War III Battle Royale, but Goldberg came out to derail this. Interesting note, Rick Steiner and Bam Bam Bigelow, I don't know if I mentioned this in November to Remember, I probably did, but Rick Steiner and Bam Bam Bigelow had the exact same theme. Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. They both had a ripoff version of Welcome to the Jungle in 2 separate companies. That's kind of weird. Has there ever been a time where 2 guys in 2 completely different companies where they had basically the exact same fucking theme? I don't know. But Bam Bam Bigelow and Rick Steiner had Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. Kind of fucking weird. But anyways, Lex Luger and the Giant, they both get eliminated by Kevin Nash, and Kevin Nash won World War III. He is the World War III champion of 1998, and this is the final World War III Battle Royale. Thank God, because much like steel cage matches in WCW, other than War Games, Battle Royales in WCW are also pretty fucking shitty. Look at the Battle Bowl, and look at World War III. For some reason, WCW likes to A, give away free tickets to a free show, and B, they like to have 2 rings, or 3 rings, or 5 rings, or 10 rings, or maybe 1,000,000 rings. They like to have their spring breaks, and their Sturgis shows, and they like to have their double rings, and their triple rings, and whatever the fuck. WCW has some weird environments. But World War III, get the fuck out of here. Such a bizarre, stupid stipulation of a match. There's so many stupid stipulations. And one day I will do a top 9 worst stipulations. But anyways, Kevin Nash wins World War III. Give it a 6 out of 10. He last eliminated Lex Luger and the Giant to win. DDP, but that wasn't the main event. The main event was the United States Championship. Diamond Dallas Page defeats Bret the Hitman Hart to retain his United States Championship. Now, they do this big-ass ref bump, and they go down. The referee goes down. I believe it was Charles Robinson. He goes down. Out comes an NWO referee. It's not Nick Patrick. It's a different NWO referee. He kind of looks like a miniature version of Buff Bagwell. Anyways, they do Montreal. Which I guess Bret Hart really wasn't that pissed off, because here's Bret Hart doing Montreal. And so he has DDP in the sharpshooter. He doesn't tap out. The NWO ref rings the bell, and Bret Hart wins the United States Championship, but out comes a different referee, and they knock the shit out of the NWO referee. Diamond Cutter out of nowhere on Bret Hart. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Diamond Dallas Page retains the United States Championship after doing a Montreal Screwjob thing. I guess Bret Hart really wasn't that pissed off after all, because he does it here and he does it at Starrcade 1999. Maybe it was a work after all. No, absolutely not. But I digress. This match was basic. Bret Hart and WCW sucked. DDP had so much momentum from Halloween Havoc that he goes and has this match, just a mediocre, run-of-the-mill, stupid match with Bret Hart. Nothing more, nothing less. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just a forgettable main event for WCW's World War III 1998 pay-per-view. 5 out of 10, and that concludes it. And that's World War III. I always hated World War III concept pay-per-view. This is the last World War III, and World War III gets a 3.8 out of 10. And this will conclude 1998 year in review for all three companies. Overall, the whole of all 12 pay-per-views, WCW averaged out to get a 4.9 out of 10. Now, they had a strong start, so that was really damn good. One of the greatest pay-per-views in WCW history. They followed it up with a good pay-per-view in Super Brawl. Uncensored was a fucking hidden gem of a show. It was really weird how good of a show that was. It had a marvelous triple threat match. It had a shitty main event, but it still had a great card nevertheless. Good show. Great American Bash was really damn good too. But you also had some shitty-ass shows. Fall Brawl was one of the most boring shows I've ever seen in my life. Hog Wild or Road Wild or whatever the fuck you want to call it, Sturgis was fucking atrocious. And Starrcade wasn't really any good either. So there you have it. To remind you what happened at Starrcade, well, Kevin Nash booked himself to win the World Heavyweight Championship and beat the streak. Or at least that's what people believe in, obviously. But I don't think he was. Kevin Nash said he wasn't the booker until February 1999. But hey, maybe he did book himself to win. Anyways, I digress. That concludes 1998. And I'll catch you next time. The next coming videos, the next year in review, I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'm leaning towards 1995. I'm also leaning towards some other years. There's also going to be some top 9s and a very, very, very special video that I will do that will be completed and uploaded at the end of the year. I am Daniel Rock 08, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.